recovering from his surgery. He keeps crying. I think he's upset that he can't put his face directly on the glass because he loves just coming out here and just looking out. At the end of the glass, there's like a little space that's open. It's like the smallest space, and he loves putting his head through there. Not his whole head, just like his snout. He loves it, so I think he's very frustrated that he can't do that. And I think he is in a little pain. His pain medication is at 6 p.m. tonight, so we can't do it now, and I'm sad. And I think he's too scared to go pee and go to the washroom. Because he usually like wakes up and goes, and I think he has to go. He's just like, he wants the cone off. He's very grumpy. But still bugged.
The next day.
Hello. So a lot of stuff happened.
We're wearing the same color.
I know, it's great. So he had 2 procedures, right? Like with stitches and everything. And so when we were gonna get him neutered and everything, when we were like signing that kind of stuff, I guess in the beginning and like booking it, they kind of like, what was it? Like the time was coming where a dog would get neutered.
It was like a month before, and they were like, so after your rabies shot, we're gonna do the neutering. Like,
Yeah.
It was just like, that's the next step.
Yeah, they were just like talking to us like that's normal and everything, and that like we're gonna do this now. We're like, okay, right? We don't know how to take care of a dog, you know, we just got one, and we're trying to do everything right? So we're kind of listening to what they're saying, and they're just like, yeah, like next step is neutering. We're like, okay, so we kind of booked that and everything. And when I say we just like, I think I've said already that we were kind of just like waiting until the day came. Like that's it. Like we're done. We didn't Google anything. But I also thought that like we'd get everything from them, you know, like your teeth when you got your wisdom teeth removed, like that kind of stuff. Because we have to like baby him after he got surgery, you know. We were kind of waiting for that day to come and waiting without like any information or whatever until it came. They just took him from us and like had to sign papers, whatever I told you. And then he went to go have surgery, and then they called us when he was done and everything, right? And then they gave him back to us, and they gave him back to us with pain medication and I think some kind of like, I don't know,
just post-op pain medication,
for 3 days. So that's all they gave us. They gave us nothing about it. And when we got there late, like I was telling you, and the vet wasn't gone. Like everybody was still there, right? So they were still open and everything. But they sent out like I guess like a nurse, like somebody that would be on the surgery, but he wasn't. He said that he wasn't on ours, right? So he kind of came out and he's like, here you go, and like, you know, give him the medication. And we were like asking questions, and he's like, and we're like, you know, like his teeth, like Elizabeth had her wisdom teeth removed, so we had to like, she had to do like a salt water kind of stuff, right? And he's a dog and all, and I get that, but I thought we'd get like some kind of medication or like
a brochure,
like, yeah, or make sure he drinks water after he eats, you know what I mean? Like just to clean his like teeth, right?
I got an information form.
Yeah, or just like knowledge to know what to do with his teeth, because I know she had to do stuff, right? For like 2 weeks, I think she had to like really care for her gums and everything.
And then we said, okay, what about his teeth? And he said, his teeth? Like he had no idea.
I think he like tried looking, and I was like, he has stitches in his teeth, like in his mouth.
Yeah.
And he tried like opening his mouth. He's like, oh, he had like, you know, the surgery.
Oh,
like,
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we told him 6 teeth. He's like, oh, and yeah, it was very dumb, very frustrating for us. So we brought him home. He was very tired. I think I showed you. He was like sleepy. He was like sitting down a lot. It was so cute and sad. We were crying. We felt so bad for him. And he was like chill for a little bit, you know, like resting. And then I think the next day he woke up with like wanting food, like he always does. He was up, he was like very active. He was jumping like he always does. And I was like, oh my God, he's getting better, right? We were both like, wow, that's really good that he like isn't groggy. He's probably feeling so much better, right? But he would like jump and everything, and then he'd like try to sit down and try to lick, you know? Like he's trying to soothe himself, you know what I mean? He's trying to like make himself feel better after he's been jumping, running, like doing everything. So I was telling Elizabeth, I was like, he's clearly hurt, right? Because he's like, he's excited and he's trying to be happy. He's done being, I guess, very uncomfortable, but he's obviously like still hurt because he's trying to like soothe him, like his area, right? We're like thinking he's probably getting better. It's probably fine. Today's Mother's Day. So yesterday, my mom wanted to Mother's Day yesterday instead. So we went over to spend time with them, whatever. And they have a big backyard. We live in a condo, right? We have a balcony. And he like, you know, runs the whole thing. He loves it. He's a very big like zoomies kind of dog, right? He's very excited. He's always active. So when he got neutered, we were so sad that he instantly wasn't like that anymore. He got back to it. In the yard and everything, he went out there and he ran. And I was like, Elizabeth, like he shouldn't be running. So I had to go grab him. And I tried telling him like, Reese, remember you're hurt. Like he doesn't understand, but I'm like, Reese, you're hurt. Like, and he jumped on the couch. He doesn't jump on our couch. And he jumped on their couch. He loves everybody.
People,
yes. He loves everything. Clearly he's getting better, right? Like obviously, like we're so relieved that our son is getting better. And obviously that we tried to make him calm. Like we put him in the cage a while, which was so sad. He's fine in the cage. He likes the cage. But like we felt bad that he couldn't like, you know, be happy, right? We just wanted him to rest. So we tried stuff like that.
To be with us, so.
Yeah, we gave him his medication. Like, you know, he was like doing good except all his like activeness, I guess. And then we got home and we went to bed, and I like had this like stressfulness that I was like wanting to Google like how he's supposed to act, I guess, because literally when they gave him to us, they didn't tell us anything. They didn't give us papers. Like when she got her wisdom teeth out, I keep saying that because they were so like communicative.
On like you obviously like nobody gets their wisdom teeth out twice. You still have to teach the person. Like you don't grow up with the knowledge of how to get them taken out and what to treat them with, right? And the same thing is with the dog. Like we may have had a dog who got neutered before, but obviously we look young. We probably didn't. Yeah. So how are they supposed to like expect us to know everything we have to do?
But also it's like a surgery, right? Like I feel like you can't just be like go home and like don't touch it, because then like if you don't touch it but like something went on it, it might infect, right? So it's like clean it, you know, like they kind of like tell you like a little knowledge on it, right? Especially if it's a big surgery on something like a dog that can't tell you if it's hurt or if it's infected, you know what I mean? And I freak out, so I'm like I'm gonna Google like what to do, I guess, or what he like what's like the I guess the protocol like after a dog gets neutered, right? So I Google it and it's like make sure your dog like is sitting for like a week, like they can't move, they can't run, right? They shouldn't jump at all and everything like that. And I was like, oh my god, they shouldn't even stretch, they should be resting for like 3 days, I think it was for sure, and then the week like they should take like teeny walks, right? And this dog was running, like he was sprinting around the field. We took him
jumping
on like
on us, like he was up too
in the front yard before we brought him into the car. We like took him on that little walk, you know what I mean? Like he was fine, and we're like, wow, he's doing so great. And then I Googled it and it's like he should not be doing anything because anything can trigger like a stitches breaking or like something getting in there, I mean like the grass and all, which we were already stressed about the grass anyway. But like it's so upsetting that we're so dumb about it, right? We didn't think about it, we didn't Google anything, but also they didn't tell us. Yeah, we were trying to blame ourselves, being like, yeah, we didn't Google it, wow, we're so dumb. But also like in a whole neutering process and his teeth surgery that they just called us on our way out being like, should we do it, yes or no? Like it's so stressful that they didn't give us any kind of information on how to take care of him, right? So last night I was freaking out, I was stressful, I was crying the whole night. I was very stressed out about it, right? And Elizabeth's like, we'll deal with it tomorrow, and I was very stressed about it. I needed to deal with that now. And I was Googling pictures, which is disgusting. Don't do that. Don't Google like, you know, the dog's area
or
when
leave
it's
it
infected.
open on your girlfriend's phone.
Yeah. I told her not to open it. I Googled it like normally healing, and then it infected. Oh, also, I forgot to tell you that they we got him groomed the day before, right? We did like a nice groom. He looked beautiful, right? And then the groomer told me that like, oh, if he's getting neutered, they're gonna shave him. And I was like, oh, like underneath, right? I was like, oh great, like what's the point then? And then we took him and they gave him to us and they're like, oh, he has razor burn on his like down there, his whole like side legs, you know what I mean? Like has like razor burn. Yeah, it looks very bad. And we like the first day we saw it, they're like, oh, we put cream on it or whatever, and we're like, okay, right? They didn't tell us how to treat it. They didn't tell us like, you know, put what is it, like Vicks or aloe vera, like something like that, right?
They put something on it similar to that. I forget what it's called, but they put something on it similar to that. But obviously it's gonna wear down and that razor burn's gonna bug him again, right? And I think that's mainly the reason why he kept trying to look down there.
So many things we could have Googled, but also so many things that like we didn't realize because they didn't tell us. Passing the blame from us to them to us. Like we're both like, we get it that it's both of our faults, I guess. But basically the day he got neutered, usually when he wakes up, I like take him out and he pees and does it, right? He goes every morning. He does that. I wait for him and then I feed him. So that morning we took him out. He didn't go. He peed a lot and it was very stressful to me because I was like, he always goes, and sometimes it takes him a while because he wants to eat. He's very food driven. So we gave him to them and I said he peed a bunch, but he hasn't pooed yet, and he always poos. And they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. And I was like, he might like have to poo with you, so like don't put him under yet. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to give them a hint of like if he's gonna be in a kennel, like I guess like be aware that he's gonna poo soon. Picked him up. They didn't tell me if he went. I mentioned it again, I think, saying that like he hasn't gone, but like did he go? And then we brought him home and I was, you know, he always goes every night, and like I said, they didn't tell us anything. So I kind of expected him to go when he got home because he should be like, you know, starting to feel better. Is she calling us? So, you know, we were cut off there. I forget what I was saying. We thought somebody was calling us and we went and they weren't. It was very embarrassing. Basically, we're at an animal hospital because the vet that we go to is closed today, right? Today's Sunday. So they're closed on Sundays, apparently. It's not helpful for my stressful brain. So we were thinking of going to a different vet, but apparently all the vets are closed. So this animal hospital is open. So we came here today and they had like a last minute appointment around like 2 o'clock or something. So luckily we got to bring him. We have a car now, so we got to bring him speedy fast. So that's good. Whatever. So we brought him in. We told him our concerns over the phone. We told him our concerns when they picked him up. And it's good. After my stressful talk like a few minutes ago, it just like cleared all that. And he said that he looks good and he didn't open any stitches and that his healing looks good also, and that it's pretty normal, which is what we didn't know.
The thickness or whatever around it is just scar tissue. And
it's like
looking good.
And it's healing still. He's gonna be fine apparently. And they checked his teeth too, and his teeth look good, they said. And yeah, he does still have razor burn, obviously, and that it looks
he said it didn't look horrible and that it wasn't inflamed, and that the medication he's taking is actually helping for that too. but that we still ask for a little bit of ointment because he seems to be really itchy.
Yeah, so apparently that's why he keeps licking himself, not because of his incision, but because of all the razor burn, which makes so much sense because it's like everywhere. Yeah. God, how did they do that? Like, I don't get it. Like that, like short of a razor.
It's
like,
literally because they're just because they're rushing.
Apparently he's doing fine. Sorry, I just stressed you all guys out there. I stressed myself out too. He gave us more information in 10 minutes than everybody else did. And he said that we should keep the cone on for 2 weeks, and we're like 2 weeks, not one.
He said 1 week is like for sure, and then after 1 week, it's like depending on if he licks himself, which I was also shook by because I felt like 1 week and then he can lick himself. Like I thought it was like clean after.
But he has razor burn.
Yeah, but I thought like 1 week to heal, and then after that you could take it off. Because why would I take it off if he's not fully healed? You know what I mean? Like the point is he can't lick himself. So why would I take it off if he can't? They're here?
Yes. Elizabeth went to go get Reese. They just called us. Okay, that's like the thing too that we were confused about, because they told us that all we had to do was keep it on for 1 week, and after 1 week they take off the cone and that's it. So when I was Googling last night, I was seeing so many things of like, it takes like a month to heal, it takes 2 months to heal, like it's a whole procedure, it's a whole surgery, he cannot have children, you know, like it's a whole kind of thing, and it's very stressful to think that it's just like one incision and everything like that, and that it should be taken lightly, you know. And the fact that they told us like after 1 week it's fine is crazy, because like he has razor burn also, and this vet said that it takes like 2 weeks to get rid of the razor burn, I guess. And like he's like, after he gets his cone off, he's still gonna want to lick himself because of the razor burn, but that he recommends 2 weeks fully. There's like so many things that go into it, and they didn't tell us anything, and we're very upset about it. And I think we're thinking about switching vets. We've been going to this vet since we got him, but I think one time he needed to go to the vet and they were unavailable, they were busy, so we went to a different vet that's like a little farther away, which is why we didn't go there. But we booked them, they were like open, you know, they like let us in, and we took them there, and they like in like again like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they gave us so much information. They like eased our pain for whatever like stress we had. They literally helped us so much better than the other one. They were so much more professional. They weren't rushing with everything, you know what I mean? It was so great, and we really liked them. And we even told them, I think they had some kind of beef, like both of those veterinarians or whatever, and I think they were like, yeah, that one's always booked. Like the one we take them to, like they're always booked. They kind of just like do things speedy fast so they can get the most people, and they like actually care, and they really try to like do the best work instead of trying to get so many people in and out. So I think we're gonna have to go to that one. We have a car now, so we don't have an excuse why we have like such a close by vet just because it's close. We're gonna go to, I think we're gonna change vets, which is probably gonna make us so much more relieved, you know. This was so stressful. I was so scared. So many things I googled that nobody told me about, right? So the fact that he's better, or that he's doing good, is really good, and we're really happy about that. We feel so much better, I guess, like because they gave us answers, you know, like the fact that he's trying to lick himself is because of his razor burn, and it's just like I don't know, I just feel a little happier, you know. I'm way more or less stressed out, and I'm happy that we, you know, have the opportunity to take him to a different vet and to a vet to get checked out, and that they were open today, that we have a car now that we can take him to. So I'm very happy, and I don't know, I wanted to share this because this is something that is very stressful. I just wanted to share our whole experience, and unfortunately it's been a little stressful in the beginning, but now it's getting cleared up. Happy we got our answers. Now he's gonna literally take the rest of the week to calm down, to lie down, to sleep.
They gave me to him like on his like walking on the floor, right? And then they were like, can you put him on the table? And I was like, okay. So then I brought him up, put him on the table. He was like, okay, look at this. And I was like, what are they about to say, right? And then they like they took his thing, this, and he put his hand in here, and he said 4 fingers. He said this is very unprofessional, like this is way too loose for him. And he's like because if he gets his paw in there, he loses circulation, he loses the paw.
He literally did. That's
I know.
You guys.
I've been telling them that he's been getting both of them in there, and he was like, yeah. And if he's sleeping and he gets one in there, that's how they lose circulation. They lose the arm, or they lose the leg. You know what I mean? And he was like, this is very unprofessional. He was like, okay, give me a second. And he went over here and he took this whole thing out because it was on this one, which is not the tightest.
Okay.
And he put it on this one. And he said this is the tightest they have, which is still not good, but it's better than before.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said like
$10.
you shouldn't be able to put your thing in there. And I didn't tell him about the mouth thing, but I told him he got his paws in there, right? And he said, yeah, that's very unsafe, and that Jay should have given him a better one, and that was unprofessional, and the fact that they didn't give us this sheet was unprofessional.
And they literally didn't give us anything.
After he gave me this sheet, after that, he gave me, also it cost $100.
$100 for what?
For the professional consultation.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
Go to a good vet.
Go to a good vet, yeah.
He was
like, we're planning out to go back there.
Yeah,
he was like, I shouldn't be bad mouthing them, whatever. And I was like, we're planning out to go back there.
You
he was
should
like, I don't
got bad mouth from somebody else. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't say it was bad. They just said that like they're always full.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything crazy bad. But anyway, so then he picked it and he went one by one through every rule with me. Wow. He read the whole thing. That's what your doctor did. I'm shook. Yeah, he literally read everything and he was like, and then it says check the incision each day for heat, pain, redness, swelling, or oozing. And he said how you check for heat is you like hover your arm there, and if it's really hot, that's. They never told none of that.
This is crazy.
I feel like the other one is like out for money because they like don't care if he like gets it worse.
And also, you guys, it looks professional. Like that's why we were like, read this. Going there.
They never said this there. They said when arriving home, wait about 1 hour before feeding your pet.
Ooh,
I think we did wait a little bit, but they didn't tell us that. And it says after an hour, give a small meal and a regular diet. Resume the normal feeding schedule a day after returning home.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
We were talking about,
and
like,
then it says book a following appointment 10 to 14 days. They booked an appointment 7 days after.
Wow.
So, like, I don't get it. And then it says don't bathe your pet, which we wouldn't, but they didn't, like, tell us that. Somebody else going there probably did. Restrict exercise for 14 days. No running or jumping should be allowed.
See?
And he said no jumping on the couch, especially because that's how he pulls his stitches.
That's what I was telling Elizabeth. I was like, he was, like, guys, he was diving over that, like, grass.
It says here, please watch for signs of lethargy, depression, weakness, and loss of appetite. That can be early indicators of infection or pain. They didn't tell us that. They didn't tell us none of that.
If he did that, we would have been like, oh, because he had surgery.
Literally, like, it's just such a simple form. Don't look at the doctor's name. But it's such a simple form. And also, the vet has never talked to us. We've never talked to the vet. This vet just came out with me. And you could tell they weren't rushed. Like, at the other place, it's like some next guy checked us out, remember? And, like,
literally didn't know what happened.
We've never, ever met the vet there. We've just talked on the phone. And I just met the vet. Like,
we should leave a bad Google review.
Bad Google review.
Like, telling her that, like, we were going there because when we moved in that area, we're like, oh, this is, like, the posh, you know,
it's also
the posh,
the closest one, and we didn't
That's
have
what I
a
was
car.
saying. Yeah, I was saying that. And I think, like, other people, like, the way they would say, like, hear it, like, I think they were kind of like, that one.
Yeah.
But, like,
also, we've never been able to book an appointment the same day. Like, here we were able to book an appointment the same day. Spadina, we were able to book an appointment the same day. This one, never. They were, like, booked 6 weeks in advance, 6 months in advance. They were, like his surgery right now and his blood work to check if he could do the surgery. They were all both, like, months in advance because they're that booked up, which means that many people go there.
But then it's not good. It's not because they're, like, doing it good.
It's because they're, like,
they're trying to get the most people.
They can tell by now that they're not doing it good.
So stressed
but that they have so many people because of all those condos.
Yeah, so pick a good
Annoying.
vet. Like,
pick a good vet. Don't matter if you have to drive. Like, don't matter if you have to take a jog.
I know. I was gonna say, like, do your research, but also, like, it's not your fault, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? They should give
the vet.
That too.
Not the employees. Meet the vet. If you're on your first appointment, you don't meet the vet, leave.
It doesn't have to be, like, crazy expensive, but, like, pick a good vet. Don't pick
and
one that's
also,
just
like,
close.
if they just say come back in a week, check off his code in a week.
They
just
said,
believe them.
They just
do
said
your
that,
research because, like, this form literally says 14 days or whatever. He said 2 weeks. He said 1 week, and then after that, kind of gauge it. Listen, go to 2 vets. Even call another vet.
And not even, like, I feel like
if they bad mouth the vet you're going to, leave.
So we're really upset, but also happy. I'm happy we got everything resolved with Reese the Bobby. Look at him living his life. He said that puppies usually never, like, I guess, get the memo that they just had surgery and that they should be careful because they're puppies and they want to run, right? And jump and everything. So I'm happy with that too. It's not just that Reese is, like, you know, infected, but he's, like, also energized, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm happy that it's normal and that we got to know that.
Another red flag. It's not as big a red flag, but we still should have paid attention to it. Basically, anything that they do that you don't like, you should pay attention to.
And now he's gonna go to a better vet. So we were cut off because something crazy happened. So this is very serious. I'm not trying to make it a joke. I'm trying to say that it's, like, it's so crazy how, like, so many, like, crazy things happen at once. You know what I mean? When, like, when you get a red flag and then all of them come up. This is literally something that just happened, and it's another red flag. So what happened was we were talking and we got cut off because I got a phone call and there's no call ID and I never answered those. But I was like, why did I, like, randomly get one? I thought it was the vet because last night I called them freaking out about this, but they didn't answer because they were closed. So I just hung up. I got to the voicemail, but then I hung up because I didn't want to leave a voicemail, right? So I was like, ooh, so I hung up. So I thought they would get my little voicemail of me going, like, oops, and, like, hanging up. So I thought they'd call me to be like, oh, do you have concerns, right? Okay, so we got an iced coffee. It's good today. I drank it and I was like, So I got a phone call and I answered. It's the vet. She's like, hi. It's like a week after his neuter, we had an appointment for him. And I was like, oh, okay, like, you know what happened? And she's like, oh, we're gonna have to cancel it. And I'm like, okay, like, why? And she's like, because we've had, like, a little bit of a COVID outbreak, haha. And I was like, what? And I'm, like, looking at Elizabeth and she's like, I'm, like, on the phone. And I was like, COVID like I'm trying to whisper to her like what it is, and she's like, what? And I was like, literally out of everything, like we have another red flag. That's that. Like, it's the biggest one. Like, the biggest one, the most serious one. Are you crazy? Oh my god, I'm shook. She said apparently it was the day after. So, like, not Thursday, it was Friday. That somebody tested positive and they found out that one person had it. And from then, they, like, instantly, like, closed. You know, Friday, Saturday, been closed today. They don't open, I told you. But they all got tested, and apparently everybody is negative besides the one person that had it. And I asked her, I was like, can you tell me who it is? Like, which is kind of dumb. I knew she wouldn't. But I was like, can you tell me who it is? Like, did we see them? You know, is it the vet that did his neuter, which is going to be stressful because we've been touching Reese, you know what I mean? And we've been really good with this kind of stuff, so we're stressed. And she was like, oh, I can't tell you who it is. And also, which is stupid, she said, I can't tell you who it is, and I can assure you that you didn't talk to them on Thursday. Like, you didn't see them, you weren't near them, like, it's fine. And then she's like, even though we're all close-knit people, like, you didn't see them. And she's like, oh, like, I just wanted to call you to make sure you know that we're canceling his appointment, and I guess for what reason, so it's not just out of nowhere. She said, I called public health, and we all talked to public health, and technically we don't have to call the customers and tell them. Which is crazy, you know? I feel like that's the first rule, right? Which is why, like, when restaurants were open, they had everybody's phone number and name, right? So they could call everybody if something happened or if something went down. So I'm shook that she's like, oh, I called public health, and, like, they told us that we didn't need to inform anybody because it just happened and they closed down immediately. Which is stupid. We would only know because we had an appointment scheduled. That's why they called us, not because we went on Thursday. So that's annoying. I'm happy that we're done with them. You know, officially now. We have like extra reasons why we're not going back.
We ain't going now.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a new appointment. I was telling Elizabeth, I was like, we have to book an appointment now. She's like, not for them. And I was like, I know, I mean the other one. She's like, yeah, for the other one. We're gonna book him a new checkup. A few days later, like the new vet said, was like 10 to 14 days we should get a checkup, not 7 days. So we just got a checkup today anyway, so we feel better about it. And yeah, so we'll make his appointment and we'll go, and we're gonna be so much better with the new vet. I hope he's gonna be happier too. He doesn't really care. he loves people. He loves the vet. Whenever we pass by, he's always so excited.
The next day.
Elizabeth tried to move our vet from the one we went to a new one, to the one we were telling you that we were gonna move to. They told us that, like, oh, because, you know, they didn't do his neutering, they're gonna have to, you know, make a whole checkup about it. That means that it's gonna be like the same price as the emergency checkup we just did. So we got ourselves into a pickle with this whole veterinarian kind of stuff and like which vet we picked and whatever. So we're stressed out. I think we're gonna wait a little longer before he does his like full checkup, because this was his like little emergency one because we were like stressed out about him. So yeah, I think we're gonna wait a little bit for that one. But yeah, that's it.